I know that this fellowship journey has had more lows than highs. Well, do you ever think it could be time to just let it go?
The bel-air bubble has been a struggle for the Banks family youngsters. Carlton has been struggling with his panic attacks, as he numbs his pain with harder substances like coke. Will is almost always affected by every male figure in his life, as he normally tends to revert to his old ways, anytime he is hurt. Hillary keeps struggling to figure out how much she values her passions, as she always seems to find herself in no-win situations, trying to do what she loves. And Ashley keeps hiding, as she keeps struggling to totally express what she truly thinks and feels. But Phil and Viv seem to be having a subtle struggle as they strive and claw to keep their family together, and their marriage. Stay tuned while we dissect the signs and Easter eggs of what Phil and Viv's marriage could look like in the near future. Phil and Viv have been growing steadily, building a family they can be proud of. They have always made sure, in their own way, to put their children first, as it is very clear, the life of the children matters more than anything else. But how much will you give up, to give in to your ambitions? Phil is obviously a great lawyer who has strived to make millions, while Viv put her career in arts on hold to make sure the family is taken care of, because Phil made it clear he will provide all the material resources needed. And that is where things seem to have taken a turn. Although Phil made it clear he wanted to make sure Viv is taken care of, Viv lost some of her power in decision making. Phil decided to invest more money into his campaign, without Viv's consent. But it didn't matter to Phil, because it was technically his money. Viv was not very happy with that decision, because although she knew it wasn't her money, she never thought her not bringing in financial support will hamper their decision making as a couple. Viv decided to make some individual decisions on her own, which is how she met her art muse, Reed Broderick. He was totally enamored by her art and she was totally flattered by how high he held her art in high esteem. Sometimes in relationships, when someone else other than your partner makes you happier, is when you realize maybe you are not as happy as you thought. And that was Viv. Phil thought she will be more than happy that she had a man who was ready to treat her like a queen, if she decided to never work again. But Viv was resenting Phil secretly for a long time. Viv might be at fault because she definitely gave up easily, when Phil asked her to give up her art, but there is a part of Phil that wanted this for Viv, although not consciously realized. Something Jeffrey highlighted before being fired by Phil.
I mean, to protect them from your ambitions, because once those start stirring up inside you, everything and everyone gets steamrolled. Bullshit.
Phil has always been a strong moral character, making very acute decisions which has made him very successful in the field of law. And although his family thinks of him as a control freak, he really is doing his best as a father and a husband to give his family the life he never had. And there was no greater showcase of this, than when he decided to give up his race for the LA District Attorney, so Viv can have a chance at her dreams. But does a grand gesture change who a man really is at his core? Phil saw how much Viv was struggling with her fight for the Neiman Fellowship, as she did not want to be considered as a person who stabbed another black woman in the back for a job. Phil went into his Superman bag and tried to save Viv from herself, instead of comforting and supporting her. Phil was trying in his own way to make her feel better, but Viv called deja vu, as she was very much unhappy with Phil's suggestions about her quitting, when she is supposed to be fighting. There might have been dents here and there, but the relationship was steady. But with Erica, an old flame of Phil's, coming back into the picture, things definitely got dicey and will probably get more interesting in season 3. Erica went out of her way to take a client from Phil, only to get his attention and offer him a job. To avoid complications, she went to see Viv to reassure her that her interest in Phil was totally professional, as compared to their college days, when she was really attracted to Phil. Phil was smart enough to take the job as a contracting lawyer for Erica's firm, from his own personal practice. But with all the moves Erica made, going to Viv to reassure her, she still couldn't help herself. She kissed Phil when she had the slightest chance. Jeffrey brought up this incessant need for Erica to have him, when he said, "A woman who wants you like that is a dangerous woman." Phil shrugged it off as he claimed he could handle. But Phil wasn't ready to handle the new problems in his life. Although he has done everything he can to give Carlton the life he never had, he failed when Carlton confessed about being a drug addict in front of the entire school. Phil and Viv realized in the moment, albeit providing Carlton with the best doctors and specialists, they couldn't cure what he had. They had failed. And in the middle of chaos, there is opportunity. Erica wanted to have lunch with Phil, which Phil was very much not interested in with everything going on. But he ended up accepting. Could Erica be the end of Phil and Viv, or their love for themselves and family will pull them through? Kindly share your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.